Welcome and thank you for listening to the Sales Maven Show. I'm your host, Nikki Rausch, your own personal sales maven, here to offer you tips and strategies and techniques to master your sales conversation. Today, we're going to be talking about how do you handle those conversations when you're on a consult or a discovery call with a prospective client and you know that you are going to be launching a promotion on the very thing that is a good fit for this person sometime in the coming weeks. This is a particular topic that has come up recently in some coaching conversations. And so I wanted to bring the answer to the podcast in case you find yourself in these types of situations. Now, handling pricing conversations during promotions is always something that I think people get nervous about. So I'm going to give you one piece of advice before we dive into the specifics around the discovery call. And this was a piece of advice that one of my mentors gave me a few years back, actually many years back now, that when I'm worried about, oh my gosh, well, what if somebody who just bought this thing sees that then I have a promotion around it? Like, oh, I can't do a promotion because, somebody just bought this. So that's going to feel out of integrity or they're going to be mad about it. And the person said to me, Nikki, just come up with your answer. Should somebody approach you about it? Like, what would you say and what would you do? Be prepared. And it was such great advice. And I remember coming up with my answer and then exactly what my mentor advised happened. Nothing. Nobody asked. Nobody who had bought this particular service package from me ever approached me about the fact that I did a promotion around it where there was a price savings a few weeks later. And I was like, oh, that's such great advice. So now when I find myself holding back from wanting to launch something because I'm like, oh no, somebody just bought this at the regular price. What am I going to do? I just come up with my answer. Like, how will I address this with this person? Am I going to refund it? Am I going to explain that this is a limited promotion? Like, what am I going to do? And just having that answer in my back pocket has been super helpful. Now, I will say, in all candid transparency here, it has happened. It definitely has happened, but I have my answer prepared. So I know what I'm going to say. And most of the time, it's gone over absolutely fine. The person has either liked my response and or been really happy about it. And I will say a lot of times what I do is I offer to do something extra for the person. I like to do extra. That's just me. And usually they're delighted with some little extra thing that they get. So instead of having to refund money, I usually will do something extra. I try to avoid refunds as much as possible. I hope you do in your business too, but something to think about. Okay. So having this prepared, having your answer prepared is really important. But now we're going to flip this a little bit. Now let's imagine that you are talking to a prospective client and they are a really good fit for a particular part, an offer, and you know that you're going to be launching a promotion in the next, I would say, up to 2 weeks. Anything outside of 2 weeks from now, it probably shouldn't really be a conversation or a discussion, but it's up to you. Again, it's your business. You get to decide. What I will say is that transparency can be an opportunity to build trust. So if you know that something is coming, you can actually use it in the close. And so I'm going to give you some language around it. Here's some language that I wrote. You might say, the program you're considering is part of an upcoming promotion and it launches next week or in 2 weeks, whatever you want to say there. Be, candid and transparent, honest. However, since we're on this call, I'm happy to extend the promotion pricing to you today if that feels right for you. And then you wait and you see what they say. Because this helps remove hesitancy, and it also creates a little bit of urgency of like, oh, I can jump into this now. That would be great, right? And a lot of people are going to jump on it. Now, what it can also do, just to be really candid, is it can cause people to go, oh, well, then maybe I should just wait the 2 weeks until it launches. Because now it's like, oh, well, now I got time to think about it. So again, you got to find the balance here for the person that you're in conversation with. And are you delaying their ability to make a decision, which anytime you delay a decision for a client, you risk them never making a decision because they're bombarded with so many other decisions. So then they either forget that they want it or they find something else that's, calling for their attention right now and ignore it. So again, we have to find a little bit of a balance here. So I'm going to give you some phrasing to use in those situations, but think about, should I offer this promotion early, and will that build trust? Will that build rapport? Will that make it an easier yes for this person to saying yes to moving forward, to working together? And if you have yeses to those questions, by all means, offer it. Now, if they say to you, well, I guess I'll wait till the 2 weeks, because now it's like, I've got time to wait. You might say this, you might say, I know waiting for a promotion might seem appealing. We're on the call now and we know you need this. So I just want to make it really simple for you to get started. And then that way you can immediately start getting the benefits of this. And then I follow up with an invitation. Is that something you'd like to do? And then I wait and I see what they say next. Now, if they say, I'm going to wait, then I'm going to encourage you to offer to schedule a circle back call with them, that when that promotion launches, that you're going to get on a call, answer any last questions for them, and get them signed up, right? So let's go ahead. If they're like, I'll wait, I'll get back to you, I would say, okay, well, what do you think about scheduling a circle back call now on our calendars? That way, when it launches, we can see what, if any, additional questions have come up for you. And then we'll make some decisions about getting started. Should we get that on our calendars now? See what they say. And then hopefully schedule that time. And then when you get on the call with them, it's like, hey, the promotion has started. I wanted to see what additional questions have come to mind since we last spoke. Kind of where are you in the process? And are you ready to get started? Don't say it all like back to back. Take some space between all the sentences that I just gave. But that's really the structure of it. So again, your job always is to make it easy for people to say yes to working with you. So I wouldn't be afraid of offering somebody the promotion. Again, if it creates some urgency and gets them going like, oh, well, that's an easy yes. And just to be really, again, candid about kind of where we are right now in the state of kind of business and what I'm hearing out there is, it is so important for you to be willing to be flexible, to make it easy for people to say yes. So if there's some little thing that's getting in the way, don't be afraid of asking, like, well, what is stopping you from moving forward today? Is there anything that I could do or say that would make this an easy yes for you? And wait and see what they say. Sometimes they'll come back with something that you're like, oh, I would do that in a heartbeat. And that would be so easy. Yes, I can do that. Should we go ahead and get started? Be flexible. You've probably heard me say this before. Favorite quote of mine, blessed are the flexible, for they shall not be bent out of shape. Your job is to be flexible in the sales conversation to earn the business. Now, of course, don't do something that you're going to regret later. Don't offer some additional, service or product that later you're like, dang it, I kind of feel resentful now every time I talk to this client. Like, don't do that, but be willing to show that you have some flexibility and that you're willing to make it easy for them to say yes. Sometimes just that little thing. And by the way, if they come back with something that says, well, this would make it an easy yes for me, then if you feel like, well, that's not going to feel good to me, I'm going to feel resentful about it, or I'm going to lose money on that, you can always counter. Don't be afraid to counter. So if they say, well, this would make it an easy yes, then you go, okay, I want to make it an easy yes for you. And it also has to make business sense for me. So what if I was able to meet you in the middle? That's often my response, is like, what if I was able to meet you in the middle? I just had this recently where I was going to launch something and I was talking to somebody and they wanted a payment plan. And I do charge a little bit. There is, you get a discount. That's what I'll say. You'll get a discount when you pay in full. This particular opportunity, they didn't want to pay in full. They also didn't want to pay the extra fee for the payment plan. But I know that it costs me more money, to run multiple charges, right? Like the credit card fee is more than if you just run it the one time. When you run it multiple times, like you actually pay more money. Maybe I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure that's the case, or at least it is in my head. So that's where I'm at. So in that particular moment, I recognize that they need a concession. They want a concession to move forward, and I'm not willing to just give them like what would be the pay in full if they're going to spread it out over this many months of payment. So I just said, I'll meet in the middle. And they immediately said yes. And I find a lot of times showing that I've got some flexibility, that I want to make it work for both of us, that is enough to get people to move. So again, we're talking about promotions and you can decide. And I know I've recorded a podcast episode about this where I even talked about sometimes what you offer on your promotion, there may be something about it that isn't in alignment with the other person. And so can you tweak it for that client? And would that make sense too? So it doesn't always have to be about price. Sometimes it's about, well, I don't think I'll really use this. And then you can say, well, what would you want instead? Or what if I offered this instead? Show some flexibility and see what happens. Again, all you can do is offer and then issue the invitation and let them make that decision. Chances are you're going to gain a new client when you show a little flexibility. And I don't mean like right up front being like, I'll do any price at anything you want, right? Like stand in your place of credibility, say what it is, say pricing, talk about the promotion. And when they have some pushback, ask yourself, do I have any wiggle room here? Am I willing to be flexible to make this work for both of us? Because really in sales conversations, I always say like, you want there to be a balance of power. You don't want to hold all the power in the conversation because your client will go buy from someone else. You don't want to give them all the power in the conversation and in the relationship because unfortunately they'll take advantage and they'll abuse you and you'll resent them. So we don't want to create that. So there has to be a balance of power. So this is where when you show some flexibility, when you show that you'll be candid and upfront with them about what's coming down the line, it builds trust and it shows like I'm willing to work on terms that work for both of us. Again, balance of power. Okay, I kind of went all over the place with this particular tip, but I wanted you to be thinking about a couple things. So just to kind of circle back on the things that we talked about, plan ahead if you're worried about what if somebody asks me about this, they just bought it and I'm going to do a promotion on it. What is your answer going to be? Plan ahead so that you still move forward with the promotion. If you get on a call with a client and you know they're a good fit for an offer that is going to be promoted and have some kind of special kind of thing added to it or special pricing, you get to decide in that moment, do I want to offer this? And is it going to help secure this sale? And if it is, you've got some language for that. Now, if they postpone because they know the offer's coming down the road, what are you going to do? I gave you some language for that. You're going to set up a circle back call with them. And when you find yourself in these situations where it doesn't quite work, can you add some flexibility? So that's kind of a wrap up of everything we just talked about. All right. Thank you for listening. I am wishing you so much success and please continue to put your promotions out there. People need what you offer and they need to know what is available in order for them to make a buying decision. So put yourself out there, put your offers out there. Wishing you continued success. Thanks for listening.